All right, so normally when there's a big story that just dominates headlines, like this Brett Kavanaugh thing, I tend to just kind of sit on the sidelines, listen in, take in information, because the thing is, there tends to be an oversaturation of people reporting on it, responding to it, etc. But in this case, now that there's another accuser of Kavanaugh, I can be silent no more. Now, I'm no expert on politics. I don't have all the answers, but there are just glaring issues that quite frankly, there are not enough people talking about. So I'm just going to, I guess, focus on the most obvious ones, okay? Burden of proof. Why, oh why, is the burden of proof on the accused and not the accusers? This is Justice 101. If you're going to accuse someone of something, you are responsible to provide as much information. You should be able to regurgitate, data dump, all the information possible on investigators. Instead, these women have come with the most vague statements like, oh yeah, it was roughly this geographic location. It was give or take this year. There were a couple hundred people there. He knows someone who knows someone who knows someone that might have been there. It's insanity that Brett Kavanaugh has to defend himself against allegations, but the burden of proof is on him to prove himself as innocent, not burden of proof on the accusers. That's like saying, hey, there's a big hole in the wall over there, Mike. I believe you put that hole in the wall. You have to prove to me that you didn't put that hole in the wall. I'm like, so you're asking me to prove a negative? Like, how do I prove that I didn't punch a hole in the wall? Other than, here's my story, here's my alibi, I wasn't there. How do you prove that I punched a hole in the wall or put the hole in the wall? Can't believe it, man. So, burden of proof, that makes no sense. Next thing, double standards. The double standards are unbelievably stupid with these Democrats, okay? So, Keith Ellison, Bill Clinton, these people have been accused, both of these men have been accused of sexual assault. Burden of proof was not on them. The burden of proof is on the accusers, okay? And you see a total media blackout about it, right? What about Paula Jones, Bill Clinton? What about Juanita Broderick, Bill Clinton? Keith Ellison, I can't remember the woman's name that accused him, but these are not only recent, they're documented. There's evidence pointing to them as being guilty, but you hear nothing from the left about it, nothing. Why? Maybe because they don't truly care about justice, okay? But they say conservatives are stupid. They think people who disagree with the liberal ideology, they're the idiots, they're the dumber people, but we're the ones using common sense, saying like, okay, first of all, someone has to prove that he did it. Secondly, what about the double standards? Why don't you apply that across the board? You know, it really is sad that the Democrats have tainted what used to be, in my opinion, a credible movement with the Me Too, right? That was something that, regardless of your political leanings, we were unified in the belief that sexual assault is wrong, right? Just like it didn't matter if you were Democrat or Republican, it was a good thing that accusers were able to prove that they were sexually assaulted. You know, like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, whoever, whatever. But the whole idea around Me Too was actually a good thing. But now the Democrats have used it to divide us further along party lines. Something we were unified in, now we're divided on, because you have people on one side saying, we should believe her because she's telling the truth. I know that she's telling the truth because she's telling the truth. And then you have people on the other side that are critical of it, like, something's fishy here. I mean, it's an 11th hour. You guys already said you were against Kavanaugh. You've protested Kavanaugh. You've like thrown Hail Marys and tried all these different things. You said he was racist. You tried to tar and feather him. And now all of a sudden there's sexual assault allegations. And then the people on the other side, well, so you support sexual assault? You're just going to stand up? You're going to make these women feel like this? So it's not a good look. You have to wonder what's going to happen with Me Too now. Also, man, like, a man's reputation, okay? regardless of the outcome of this Brett Kavanaugh thing, his reputation is tarnished. What is this doing to his family? And that doesn't just go for him. That goes for any man that gets accused of sexual assault. I mean, if you're even accused of sexual assault, that damages your reputation. That makes people bullish on interviewing you. It just paints you in a bad light. Okay? And the fact that someone can falsely accuse someone of sexual misconduct, whether it's rape, inappropriately exposing themselves, whatever it is, that there's pretty much no way to come back from that. There's no way to come back from that. So the accusers, in my opinion, should have to face some kind of penalty, because you can ruin someone's life for that. And these godless Democrats, they will politicize anything that they can. For what? In the name of what? Social justice? That's not it. It's to gain political leverage. That's all they care about, is gaining political leverage. So again, who's the stupid people here? Who are the people that aren't thinking? People aren't using their brains. Is it the conservatives, the people that support Trump? Or is it the people who are having their intelligence insulted by Democrats, coming out saying stuff like, we should believe her because she's telling the truth? It is possible that Brett Kavanaugh did commit these crimes, therefore he should step down. He should withdraw his nomination. But they're saying nothing about Keith Ellison, and nobody on the left is calling them out. I haven't heard anyone point out the glaring hypocrisy, the glaring double standards of this so-called social justice that they're trying to pursue. You know what SJW stands for? Social justice weapons. And that's what the Democrats do. They take whatever social justice movement they feel they can gain leverage on, and they weaponize it. Think about how they turn every conservative into a racist. They look at whoever they're running against and they say, okay, he's running against a black woman, so we can get him on sexism and racism, and go. And then they send their media attack dogs to whip up narratives, lie, omit, do whatever they can to smear the opposition. Why? Because Democrats can't win on policy. We all know this. If they could win on policy, they would put the best policies forth and everyone would just get it. You know, the best policies don't require force. Yet the Democrats want to put all these big government, state empowering policies in place, but they're all backed by the threat of force, because if people are against them, you can get thrown in jail. You know, if you don't want to pay your taxes on Obamacare or whatever else, they can throw you in jail. They can take your property. See, Democrats, this is the problem. This is the problem. And for all of you dissenters that are going to come in and say, well, Republicans aren't perfect, stop typing. Republicans aren't perfect. No one's saying Republicans are perfect. In fact, I have a big problem with the Republicans just kind of sitting on their hands. They're getting bullied. They're getting bullied. They should have stood up to these accusers and these Democrats long before this happened, long before we got to this point. Now they're delaying the confirmation of Kavanaugh. Of course, they want to try to delay it past the midterms because they think they're going to take back the House and the Senate, and then they could just block and obstruct all the rest of Trump's term. You know, so, but Republicans, they're not perfect. I mean, that's really all I can say about it, is they're not perfect. They definitely need to get out. We need to vote them out too. We need to get some people that are going to get into the mud, do some mudslinging, just like the Democrats do. Sometimes you have to fight dirty to win. But these Republicans are just spineless. Spineless. And they're insulting everyone's intelligence. They're insulting everyone's intelligence. I just don't really know what to say anymore. It's just kind of like, when are people going to wake up? People from both sides. We should be united against the state and against these people who think they know better than we do. Here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to do. Here's why you need to vote for me. No, we don't work for you. You work for us. So I had to get that off my chest. I know this is oversaturated reporting, guys, but I just could not sit on the sidelines and not speak to the fact that a man's life, whether or not he joins the Supreme Court justice, it's tarnished. His legacy's kind of tarnished. I mean, they did the same thing to Clarence Thomas, and they've done it to several other, I can't even think of the guy's name, in like Alabama that lost recently because he was smeared with sex assault allegations. And then you know what happened after he lost? You didn't hear another peep about it. Nothing. See, guys, this is the problem. This is the problem. But for those of you new to the channel, thank you for subscribing. Everyone that's donated, shout out to you. Thank you, guys. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share the video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next video.